Ellen Ingalls here at pressure-free.com. We're going to do a couple things in this video here. I thought that the good topic would be health and healing. So we're continuing on this longevity and health. Can you see it? Longevity and health journey. And I opened my planner and it's so apropos for what we're going to do. So I'm going to show the planner page today. Something I haven't done before, but we'll just pull it up and then you can actually read along with me. And then I'm going to share 3 steps that I use with my clients, with myself. I've used it for years to keep my immune system healthy, keep anything healing fast. First little story. Yesterday, I did my live outside, and when I was coming home, I was on a sidewalk that was very cleared, but this very thin layer of ice was on it, and I slipped and fell. Luckily, when I walk, my body coach has taught me, and also my grandfather did many years ago, taught me to walk front half of the foot more first and then set the heel down. So not heel toe, heel toe. If you step on ice or go on ice with your heel, you're just gonna go backwards. You can almost concuss yourself that way. But if you step more flat foot, but the front of your foot is more active, then you can test. So luckily, I stepped with my front half of my foot, slid forward, came down on my knee and my wrist, but it's already healed. My knee is almost fully healed in just 24 hours. And I want to explain why in this video. But first, let's start. Actually, this page is going to share a little bit too. I'll share my screen and pop this up for you. Here we go. I'll get it big enough so you can see it. So I quoted Theodore Roethke. He was a Michigan poet, Saginaw poet. What we need is more people who specialize in the impossible. The moment you stop the release of stress hormones, you have entered a state where you can begin to specialize in the impossible, in true miracles. This is because most humans never even begin to tap their mental and physical potential. They are constantly living in the stress cycle. Their brains are not fully functioning. Their bodily processes are not fully functioning. You have the power now to step into what most would believe impossible. Impossible loving, caring, seeing, hearing, tasting, healing, digesting, smelling, problem solving, leading, assisting, believing. The very building blocks, excuse me, the very building blocks of you, atoms, DNA, RNA, cells, can now function with far less effort. And then I have some affirmations. I believe that I can now experience my full potential. I embrace the ability of my mind and body to fully function. I am open to learning what is now possible for me. And I always have a question. I have a lot of things on the rest of this page in my planner, but the question is, how will you know when you are specializing in the impossible? I just thought that was pretty cool that the planner matched what I was going to share this morning. I never thought when I started Pressure Free that what I was doing would have an impact on health. I thought that mostly what I was helping people do is perform at a higher level in the heat of the moment. So taking the stage, taking the baseball field. My first clients were all baseball players. Being on a call with a client, leading an organization or a team. So I was working with the head of a department at a college. So that's what I thought was the real crux of Pressure Free. But then clients started experiencing all sorts of mental and physical changes, myself included. And these were changes that if anyone would have told me or some of my clients that this can heal, this can fix, we would be like, no, that's impossible. I've tried everything. I tried every cream possible, even bag balm that you put on cow udders. I tried that on my fingers and they still were cracked and open and bleeding for years. So those are my fingers now. If you're seeing this, like it's just incredible. It's such a change. So I built 3 steps in one of my sessions to help people open up to the possibility that they could heal whatever is happening to them or get healing happening faster. Um, so it's preventative and it's also action oriented. So when I fell on the ice, I used these three steps immediately and I kept using them throughout the day because they're breaking patterns we've had since we were really little. Most of us, when we were really little and we fell, especially if it was pretty bloody or tragic or whatever like that, like it's a big scrape or a big thing, someone said, got their face was tight, their body was tight as they came toward us, like because they're worried, right? Maybe you have to go to the hospital for stitches or whatever that was. So we internalized this idea that when we're hurt or things aren't working well, to tighten toward the pain. Does that make sense? Like we'll tense up. I see people's shoulders get tense even when they just talk about conditions that they have. Their face gets tight, their shoulders get tight. I had a woman share about fibromyalgia, and her whole body was just so tight when she talked about it, just when she talked about it. So, so we have this natural condition to want to tighten toward the pain. So step number one of this healing formula is to relax away from the pain. So if it's that you're starting to get a little bit of a sore throat, like, oh no, I'm going to be sick today, instead we'll tighten here. We'll tighten our jaw, we'll tighten our shoulders. Instead, it's like, see if you can relax all of this. Relaxation can really start when you relax your belly first, and then you can radiate relaxation to any other part of your body. So when I fell yesterday, it was this hand here and my knee, and so I immediately relaxed my abs and I relaxed all the way out to my wrist, to my hand, and all the way out and down to my toes. And I didn't know what else was could be hurt, so I like did the whole body. So I started that relaxation, even though it felt counterintuitive, even though I wanted to like, oh my God, I just fell, kind of, that kind of tension. So I went the other way. Relax away from the pain. Relax everything you can. We want to increase blood flow, nerve flow, and energy flow. Those three things are going to get healing going for you so much faster. So, step two of this healing is we have a conditioned pattern, most of us do, that when we get hurt or we feel something's not going right with us or we have a condition, we start thinking about it, we go into a very negative pattern with our mind. Every thought we have affects every bit of our body, every bit of our DNA, every bit of our cells, every body process, every thought we have. So when we move into those tension thoughts, we start shutting down physically as well. And we're literally stopping the ability to heal. I was working with a CEO once who said, I can do the first step, like I can relax my belly, relax here, but the mental one is harder, relaxing our mental thoughts. I will say things like this to myself. I'm going to be just fine. Fine is a word that really works for me. So you find the words that work for you. You can move into an empowering question like, how can I stay healthy here? How can I heal well? Anything that moves you positively into what it is. Um, it's important that the trajectory is moving this way and not this way because it's easy to say, I don't want to be sick or I don't want to be hurt. And all the brain's hearing there is hurt, sick. So it's moving in the other direction. If you have a condition, then it's I don't want any more eczema. It's my skin is beautifully radiantly healthy. How can my skin be healthy? So you're moving into the words that work for what you want, for the target. Okay. So now we physically relax the body. We've got nerve flow, blood flow, energy flow starting to move. And then we also are moving our thoughts to produce what we want rather than get stuck in what's happening or what we have. Third step, and this takes a little more deeper explaining. It usually takes me a while when I'm working with a client, but think for a moment about yourself as being made up of atoms, ATOM. So atoms. Remember in science class what an atom looks like? So little nucleus, there's protons inside it, and then there's electrons spinning around outside. And we kind of think of it like Jimmy Neutron or, that science class solar system kind of look. Uh, I've read a few books on quantum physics in my lifetime, and one of them did a beautiful explanation of the size of an electron, the space in an electron, excuse me, in an atom. And what they said is, imagine standing at the door to the Basilica in Rome, or you could expect imagine standing at the top of a stadium, or you've come out into a huge stadium, and a grain of sand is the size of the nucleus in the middle of that space. So you can't even see it. And then as you look up and there are lights coming in either through the window of the basilica or from the lights of the stadium, you see the little tiny dust motes in the air. Those are the size of the electrons. So we learned this in science class that we are mostly space. This chair we are sitting on is mostly space. It's carbon atoms, da, da, da. But we have this you can say it's amazing ability, but it's also a drawback that we're extremely visual creatures. So we look solid to ourselves. This all looks the matter looks very solid. This chair certainly looks solid, feels solid. So those are the senses that we're taking in the information. But if we could get to the atomic level, we are mostly space. Now that's interesting to think about. So when I think about healing with this third step, how can we get those electrons spinning beautifully around the nucleus? How can the atom be healthy? How can the molecule be healthy? Then the cell, then the organ, then the organism. So starting at the very basic building blocks, well, we're not going quantum, but we're taking the atom. How can we atomically be healthy? The answer that came up for me when I asked that question was tuning into the incredible energy that created us in the first place. Whatever is in your belief system for how we are created, like the miracle that every single one of us are, like we are the chosen, right? We made it onto this planet for some reason. And that is in itself a miracle. So that energy that creates us is constantly around us. If we could see all the vibrations coming off of everything, even off rocks, trees, everything, there's atomic energy in a rock, right? The other day I said diamonds are dead, but atomically, diamonds are very much alive. Just that they're very, very, very compacted. They're forced, right, into this compaction. So, with this in mind, wherever you're feeling the hurt, like for me on my hands, but well, let's go back to the fall. So, this base of my palm was where I landed, that fleshy part. Doesn't even hurt. It's amazing because it hurt yesterday. And my knee, which still has a little bit of pain. I immediately imagined like petals of a flower, this energy portal over my palm, over my knee, just opening up and this incredible energy that wants us to be healthy, wants things to be living and growing and expanding, is just flowing through my wrist, flowing through my knee, just flowing, flowing, flowing. And it's I've been doing this for decades. This now I actually have the three-step method, which I built, I don't know, 2015, maybe a few years into pressure free. No, it must have been before then because I've worked with athletes. Let me give a couple examples of what have happened for people. So I had a baseball player, a college baseball player who had surgery on his left shoulder and was told you cannot pitch, he's a pitcher, cannot pitch for a whole year after the surgery from the mound. You can pitch a little bit, but you can't pitch from the mound like normal pitching for a whole year. You need this to heal. I coached him the morning after his surgery, and then he's back at school. His PT, his trainer, um, at 6 weeks, he texts me, goes, they've never seen healing start so fast. And he was pitching at 6 months from the mound. I had another athlete who was in a car accident, damaged their elbow and their ankle, and the trainer, he's a hockey player, the trainer said, You will be off ice for 8 weeks. He played the season opener like 2.5, 3 weeks later. He didn't need the 8 weeks. Our healing, the stress hormones, fight or flight stress hormones, which we need to prevent in order to heal. So when you go into my program and I teach you how to not release those hormones all day long, now your body can reset. It's like every night when you go to sleep, you're rejuvenating, regenerating, and resetting. Because otherwise, your body's taking the whole night trying to just dissipate these hormones out of the cells and get you back to homeostasis. So it's doing all that work instead of actually cleaning. Like your lymphatic system of your brain isn't working. Your lymphatic system is shut down somewhat. Like all your body processes are not working properly for that whole stretch of night because your night is spent trying to get rid of the stress hormones. So it's fascinating when your body can get back to a major reset and you can move into that health. So that's my little health 1, 2, 3 for you. I hope it's helpful. Just test it out and you may have some doubts. I certainly had some doubts. Um, but if you start to relieve those doubts and really move your mind, it's pretty amazing what can happen to you. You can really reset your immune system. I did. It blows my mind how healthier I am now compared to 15, 16 years ago. So I wish you a great pressure-free day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.